Hello guys, thank you very much for your support, your following, your subscriptions. My channels are growing, but we got to grow faster. This is ZPR, Zanu Project Rethink. My name is Franck Zanu. I'm going to make this short response to something that was completely misunderstood. Maintenance. And I'm going to explain and people will understand it because I am a patient guy. I never get ruffled. I never respond to, toxic comments and stuff like that because I respect all of you. But it's really beginning to be painful, especially my fellow black people. Why you are not able to take a moment to think through things when you hear them, that you fly off the handle and begin to call people names because I said the black race, or let's call it African countries, and their languages do not have the equivalent or the concept of the word maintenance in their language. My conclusion was, if you don't have the concept of something, you're not going to be able to practice it. And people were like, I'm crazy. What? Is this too philosophical? Concept is what drives action. Concept is what drives understanding of anything. So let me ask you a question before I go into my rant today. So once I was in Europe, I think I was having dinner with non-Africans. And this is a common question I face everywhere I go. And they would ask me, so are you from a big family or a small family? They always ask me this question. And that night I said, the concept of a small family or big family doesn't apply to Africans. For Africans, you are always from a big family because an African can never define family without including the few who have died, the many who are living, and the countless yet to be born is always part of what we consider family. In most African cultures, we have the ancestral relationship. So Africa, the few who are dead, the many who are living, including you, and the countless to be born. You will never have a conversation with a black man in the first 2 minutes without him saying, oh, when I was 8, my cousin came to live with us. Or when I was 6, my niece, my nephew. It's always part. My uncle, grandpa, grandma is always part. So an African culture, always big family. So we don't think of small family. What is small family? There's nothing like that. Even if they are dead, they are still part of your family. So if somebody had asked you, do Africans have the concept of nuclear family? What would be your answer? No, we don't have that concept. Nuclear family is Western, Australia, New Zealand, United States, UK, Europe. Meaning, from them, family, if you ask, where is your family? To any American, he's thinking, oh, you mean my wife and children? Or my husband and children? Oh, no, I mean your parents. Oh, I see. Otherwise, the first thing in their mind is my wife and children. However, for an African, if you say, where is your family? Even if I'm not married, I'm going straight to talk about my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, my mother, father, and tell you where they live. Because the concept of a nuclear family is not in our vocabulary. So how can we practice it? That is why we always maintain an extended family system. Number 2, before the missionaries arrived, if you are an African, do Africans have the concept of a God in the sky? They'll say, no, Africans don't have that concept. That's why Christianity was not there before the missionaries brought it. If you ask Indians in India, do Indians have the concept of a God in the sky? No. Their gods are found in living things like the cow. If you ask a Japanese, do they have the concept of a living God in the sky or one who died in a cross? It doesn't even cross their mind. They wouldn't know what you're talking about. Because for them, Okami-sama is not the Christian God. So the concept of a God in the sky who will punish you after you die is not in the Japanese vocabulary. They will say, no, we don't have such concept. Is that not true? So why is it wrong if somebody said you don't have the concept of maintenance? Because you reduce the meaning of the word I meant maintenance to simply brushing your teeth and taking a shower. Some said, no, in our villages, the women always put clay on the whatever they call it. Cosmetic on your face is not maintenance. So what you see them doing is cosmetics. Because the women wake up in the morning and wash their pots and they sweep the ground. It's not maintenance. It's just a daily chore. So let me explain what I meant by African countries don't have the concept. Because if African culture has the concept of maintenance, you will not see what you see in Lagos, Nigeria on the streets. It's disgusting. You won't see what you see in Accra. As I speak, the government of Ghana is so tired with the blight, the trash, the congestion. Is about to move the city out. The city is filthy. If we have the concept, so maintenance is not you have money to repair your airplanes and your train stations. No, that is an extension of maintenance to national infrastructure. For you to know if a certain culture has maintenance, once you walk into that country, watch the people. When they unwrap a candy, what do they do with the wrapper? That will tell you if that culture has the concept of maintenance or not. Africa started not as paved roads and skyscrapers. There's nothing wrong. That was our environment. So we don't keep cats and dogs and goats and sheep inside our house like white people do. The cats, the goats, the chickens, they are all roaming around the streets. The drivers slow down for the goat. In Kenya, they slow down for the cow. Okay? We live with them. So why are you going to keep the trash in a plastic bag? Because you know when you throw it on the ground, it will be eaten by the goat, the cow, the sheep, even the lion and whatever is roaming around. So in fact, by so doing, we are feeding them already. So for us, we don't separate ourselves from nature per se, because we lived with nature and our gods were found in nature. The river god, the mermaid, the thunder god, the rainbow god, the mountain god, and the forest god. We live with nature. So for us, throwing a trash, a banana peel or a corn peel on the floor is not trash per se. It's not blight per se. You've done that for thousands of years based on the environment you lived in. It's better for you to throw it down so the next animal will eat it. Since you don't have money to be importing a pig food or a chicken food or whatever as white people will do it, how do you feed your dogs and your cats? Why do we leave our pets to roam around in the streets? Because we know we don't have enough money to be going to any vet store to buy them some specially made food. So that is where it started. And something you do for years and thousands of years, suddenly it becomes part of you. You don't even think about it. So that is what it meant. It's not that women wake up and they sweep. No, that is not it. That is cosmetic. It's called daily chore. So maintenance, basically, if you want to know if a culture has it, first watch the behavior of the people, what they do with their trash. When they eat while walking in the streets. When they want to pee, where do they go to? The government doesn't even care to build any public toilet for it. Most of sub-Saharan African countries. And so no police arrest anyone for peeing on the roadside. In the United States, an African friend of mine did it. Suddenly, a police came from nowhere. Can I have your driver's license or your ID? And gave him a ticket right there for peeing against a wall in the Bronx. Everywhere in Nigeria, they have a writing on the wall saying, please don't urinate here. I went to Jamaica and saw the same thing. I went to Barbados, I saw the same thing. And it's in Ghana too. We throw trash wherever we can find it. That is why the continent that generates a lot of garbage, we don't have any visible, sustainable garbage management company. We could have been using garbage to generate energy in Africa. So yes, I am telling it to you right now, there are many words that do not exist in some cultures. In Africa, maintenance is one of them. Let me explain. Maintenance is not what you do with railway stations and airports and your home. Maintenance is a proactive behavior. You look at a place, the way it was designed and built, and you say, this is how it's going to remain. Therefore, when you eat food, you don't throw it there. You are trying to maintain what you came to see. All Africans saw was bush roads, rivers flowing, jungles, and mud houses. What is it you are maintaining? Nothing. Then comes along the foreigner who came to build structures, now that requires a concept already in the basic fundamental of your living to be introduced to those things. And so, like I concluded, not a single infrastructure left behind by colonials has ever remained, including Haiti and Jamaica and everywhere. Now hear this, my friends. The reason I made that statement in that video was because it is important to me. One, you see, when you examine a statement, it leads you to think. And then now you know why our cities are so trashed. Just simply accept. No one in Lagos is happy with the appearance of Lagos, but everyone is guilty for throwing the trash upon the already existing trash. Maybe if you had taken that statement I made carefully and thought about it like an intellectual being, you would go home and ask your uncles, engage your family into a discussion and say, now we see why we throw things around indiscriminately. Now we can do something about it. It may not be from you because you don't have the concept, you don't even have the discipline, but you can outsource it like Saudi Arabia did. Next time you hear something in my episodes you don't understand, maybe it's better for you to leave more questions in my comments. And like you all know, I never fail to respond. But this is getting really annoying because most of you don't even understand the basic language in English, but all of you want to prove that you know something. It's annoying. Go back and find yourselves. And what was funny was that an Igbo guy told me I was wrong and told me a word that represent or equivalent of maintenance. Another Igbo guy came and left a different word. By the time it was the fifth day, I have five different words from same Igbo people about what they believe is maintenance. So you're all running around and asking your drunk uncles to tell you there's a word like that in Igbo. And whoever heard what, rush into my comment section to leave it. Let's not do this. We all are saying we want to change that continent. The only way we can do it, regardless of how what the person said is unpleasant, take your time, examine it, think about it. With that, I say thank you all guys for all the support I get from you. I'll see you again. This is ZPR. Subscribe and share. Thank you.